Hello everybody, this is Abraham with North Shore Computer Services, and today I want to do something interesting. I want to compare the two computers, Apple MacBook Air and Dell Latitude D420. Yes, you may say that these two computers are not compatible. I want to compare them in several respects. One of them is business usage. Okay, for business usage, I can compare the two. The reason they may not be so compatible is this is an older model. This is 2006 or 2007, and this is fairly new 2012 model. Now, as far as speed goes on a Dell, it is a loaded computer, so it is fairly fast. Let's open them up and boot up both of them. Now, I do run Windows XP on a Dell, but maybe in the future I'll have Windows 7. As you can see, MacBook Air is already booted up and ready to go. This Dell is outfitted with an SSD hard drive, so it is faster than normal. So we have about 15 seconds more that we have to wait for the Dell. Okay, so let's delve into the MacBook Air and explore its ins and outs, and then we'll take a look at the Dell. So positives for MacBook Air. Weight. Let's get our scale here. To scratch my nifty neck MacBook. Okay, let's put our MacBook on it. 2.5 pounds. Alright. Plus the power supply a little bit, but hopefully we won't have to have the power supply. Dell Latitude D420. 3.5 pounds. So this one's 1 pound heavier, but we're not done yet. So let's, for weight, MacBook Air gets 1, Latitude gets 0. There is actually a heavier battery for the Latitude, which will make it probably 4 pounds. We'll take a look at that later. Portability, no comparison. This thing is thin, and it will fit into a lot of places. Okay, but it's not only weight and portability that's important. The Dell is relatively portable. It is yesterday's generation computer, so wasn't really made to compete with MacBook Air. The newer Dells are a little slicker. As far as connection, the MacBook has 2 USB ports on each side, and it has the Thunderbolt port. Now, Thunderbolt is a nice and fast port, but it's very expensive and quite useless. You can use it for external monitor, and that's about it. If you're going to use hard drives or other stuff, you're going to have to shell out $50 for a cable, $100 for adapter, and plus the hard drive. So, or you can get a hard drive already with the port built in, external I mean, and those are quite expensive. They're like upward $300. So not very usable. So most people will use USB. Now Mac comes with USB 2. It does not have USB 3. As far as Mac OS, well, they're different. So I won't go into the OS itself. The other thing is it does not have a network port, and in my line of business I have to do network testing very frequently, and having just the wireless is not enough. So I have to get this thing so that I can get my wired network plugged in. Cat 5 cable. Power supply on a MacBook is very nice, tiny. And connection is also nice, magnetic, although I don't understand why they did it this way as opposed to the MacBook Pro. where the connection is actually under angle and it's slightly bigger. There are different connections between the Air and MacBook Pro. You have to get a converter between the two. That I do not understand. Why would Mac do that? Standby time. The standby time on MacBook Air, according to the book, is supposed to be almost 30 days. Well, I've never gotten 30-day standby time on this machine, so I would say it's overrated. I probably would say a week. This is normal. On the battery run, fully charged, it'll give you 4 hours. That's what I get, 4 hours normal working time. So these are the positives, and so we get standby, which is good, battery, which is good. Alright, let's open it up. We can shut it down, unplug. Quick shutdown, another nice thing about MacBook. In order to open it up, we have to have a special screwdriver. So, because I do computer work all the time, let's turn it this way so it's a little more visible. I have to have all the tools, and I have to have my computers repairable. Okay, let's see how repairable MacBook Air is, and then we'll take a look at the Dell. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, what do you mean? MacBook Air is not repairable. Or, I don't know what you're thinking, but I hope that's what you're thinking, because it's fairly true. There isn't much about MacBook Air that you can repair. It does have an SSD hard drive. This one is only 64 gigabyte, and it cost me $1,000. Okay, this is what's inside of the MacBook Air. We have the battery, which takes up almost 55% of the computer. We have the motherboard and the cooling fan and processor, and we have the hard drive right here. The hard drive, let's pull it out. It's right here. And the reason I want to cover all this is, like I'm saying, this is a business machine. This is a hard drive. So let's get deeper into it. The hard drive is not really compatible directly with any plugs that are out there. You have to get a special converter. Get it. So you have to have this special converter to which you can plug in the MacBook Air hard drive, and then it becomes a regular SATA hard drive. So this connection right here is actually SATA. So this is SATA hard drive SSD. Alright. Now, why is this important? Because this MacBook Air, literally, after working for about 2 weeks, stopped. Just dead stopped. And I'll be posting a video about me trying to repair this computer. And originally it came with the Mountain Lion, and after I had to get the adapter to get my data off of the hard drive because the internal recovery system would not mount the hard drive. And when I went to the Apple store, they were bewildered, saying, well, we don't know. So those geniuses are not so genius after all. But enough about that. In short, if your computer stops dead in its tracks, like this MacBook Air, you're basically left hanging because there isn't much support for this computer in the business world. So yes, if you use it for email only and all you do is access internet, who cares? I mean, you can go to some kiosk and access your emails, or you can get an iPad and access your emails. But if you're doing hardcore computer work or any hardcore work at all, you need your computer. You need the information that's inside of your computer. And this MacBook Air really did scare me to the fact that I did not expect it to just plain stop. I mean, this thing just stopped, and it would not move, would not recover, would not do anything. And after I actually recovered it, it recovered in OS Lion, not Mountain Lion. And then I went back to Mac. They said, well, if it's Lion, then it's Lion. We're not going to give you Mountain Lion. So I would have to purchase a Mountain Lion for it. So let's put some strikes for MacBook Air. We have compatibility, minus, and we have repairability. Minus. Okay, the only compatibility it has is USB. Alright, let's take a look at the Dell. Alright, now this thing was built as a business machine. Another negative about MacBook Air, if you spill something on this keyboard, yeah, it's nice backlit keyboard, you throw away your nifty MacBook Air. You cannot replace almost anything on here. If the keyboard goes, most likely your motherboard is done for. So that's negative. Plus the battery, when it dies, you cannot replace it yourself. I mean, you can order the battery most likely, but it's internal. And battery's life is about 2-3 years. After that, you throw away your MacBook Air, which is $1,000 machine. And I don't like to throw away $1,000 every 2-3 years. Okay. Dell Attitude. As it stands, let's turn it back. It has plugs for, well, almost everything. It has the network port, it's got the modem, it's got the USB ports, it's got the VGA port built in. You have to get external one for a Mac. You have another 2 USB ports, and you have the 1394 port, which is dying, but still parts are available for it. You can use it for video transfer. It's a little faster than USB 2. On this side it has the Mac mic and headphones. It also has a PCMCIA card, so you can have your older hardware that would run in there. It also has this card. I have no idea what it's for, but it plugs in like that, and it's some kind of access card. I've never used it, I've never seen it used, so I have no idea what that's for. It also has an onboard SD card, so you can plug that in. Oops, come on. So this thing has a lot of plugs that you can plug in. On this side you can turn on and off your wireless and turn on and off your computer. So that's positive. Also, the cost on this machine, I mean, you can buy it on eBay for like fairly well loaded for at most $200. So there is definite advantage to using this. So right now it's running in a battery, and the battery life on this is not as good as on MacBook Air, but it is fairly decent. I'd say I can get probably 4 hours usage out of this battery. Okay, the bigger one. As far as speed goes, okay, we're not connected to the internet. Let's get this. Oh, come on. Alright. Close, yes. As far as speed on this machine, it is fast, especially with the SSD hard drive in it. So there you go, it's up and running. So to make the long story short, this computer is portable and really comparable to MacBook Air in respects other than niceness of the computer. The other thing about it is this is what it looks on the inside. If your keyboard is wet, you can replace the keyboard, and it is available. If your motherboard is gone, you can replace your motherboard, no problem. If your hard drive goes, this one uses a little bit strange hard drive, the smaller one, but they're still available. Your battery, simply pop it out and get a new one on eBay, $30. You get a decent battery. Memory, everything's accessible. So as far as repairability goes, this one is no comparison to the MacBook. The other nice thing is, well, you can use this with MacBook. This is a USB external CD DVD ROM, but this computer comes with a docking station, and the docking station will have the CD DVD. It'll have all your legacy ports on it, DVI, the printer port, the COM port, more USB ports. So this computer will become fairly connected once you dock it. Now it will become heavier and bulkier, so I don't carry the docking station with me. As far as let's see, what else didn't I cover? Battery life is okay. If you're a techno buff, you have to have all these ports, and what I found about MacBook Air is I was missing them. I was really missing them. So best thing about the Dell, well, beside the fact that it runs Windows, is you can get at least 2 of them for the price of MacBook Air. I don't know why you would need that, but you can. Well, I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching.